It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to the third annual Global Human Rights Symposium.
The Human Rights Fellowship emerges from a broader human rights initiative at Gallatin, attempting to link human rights practice with academic work in human rights.
Hello, my name is Katherine Campbell. I'm a senior in Gallatin, concentrating in sex in the context of human rights and economics. This summer, I was in Uganda working with Women Alliance and Children Affairs, or Wotcha, on access to reproductive health education. Uganda is located in East Africa. Here is the demographics of Uganda. I was working and living with the NGO Wotcha, located in Uganda, in the southeast of Uganda. Started in 1997, Wotcha is a non-governmental organization that promotes the well-being of women and children through enhancing knowledge and skills that focus on improved health and community development. The organization works with 45 women community-based partner groups to promote gender equity and respect for human rights at all levels in the Uganda district. This was an extremely grassroots organization. It was run completely by Ugandans, and there's no paid staff. It is all volunteers. They all worked at a local secondary school, and this was kind of their side project that they all just really believed in. It was a lot of fun and really interesting to get to know them. My first assignment upon arriving in Uganda was to come up with educated and appropriate answers to a stack of handwritten questions on reproductive health that were submitted by students from a local secondary school. A few of my favorite questions are displayed above on the screen. Do girls develop bigger hips when they eat sperms? If you play sex with a boy and after playing you bathe, do you get pregnant? Is it good to bathe with Coca-Cola to remove pregnancy? I hear that HIV/AIDS was not there during the behind years. What really brought HIV/AIDS? I hear that Americans are the ones who made that virus and sent it to Africa because they wanted land. Is it true? If yes, why do they like things which do not belong to them? So, as you can see, I had quite the project cut out for me. There were many myths and legends about sex and everything to do with it. To my surprise, after meeting with head faculty at the local secondary school, Uganda Progressive Academy, I was given 6 classes of students to teach on a weekly basis throughout the summer as their regular health teacher. I taught approximately 500 students, ranging in ages from 12 to 26 years old. I created a curriculum for them that included sexual anatomy, sexual decision-making, consent, HIV and AIDS, sexually transmitted infections, pregnancy and contraception, rape and sexual assault, healthy and abusive relationships, self-esteem, and love. I was able to get through much of this curriculum with all of my classes, and my Peace Corps host, Sophie, who is still in Uganda, will be continuing this education program now that I am gone. I attended and helped facilitate different community-led workshops on HIV, AIDS, and malaria, an initiative that Wotcha had just taken on before my arrival. Sophie and I distributed, taught about, and made reusable menstrual pads, RUMPs, with young women at IPA and living at Wotcha with us. These are exactly what they sound like, menstrual pads that can be washed and reused, and are an incredible thing for these women to have, as menstrual periods prove to be a great financial burden and a disruption to young girls' education, social lives, and self-confidence when they are unable to afford store-bought pads. One of my favorite things I did with Wotcha was initiate an education and empowerment program at Wotcha for the young women living there. Meeting twice a week with these 9 women, we made rumps, talked about our bodies, and danced. This is a project Sophie has continued since I left, and we hope one day these girls will be able to teach other women in their community. Throughout my time in Uganda, I was able to travel all over Uganda on the weekends. And one weekend, I traveled to the west of Uganda to help facilitate a gender empowerment workshop. Young girls from Mariante Orphanage attended a Peace Corps-led girls' camp, Girls Leading Our World, GLOW, and wanted to share what they learned with their peers. I was the facilitator for 2 girls who taught decision-making. This is a song they learned at camp. International law asserts and upholds the human right to comprehensive sex education. Several international human rights treaties, including the Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child, assert this governmental obligation. The right to sex education is also expressed in inexplicit terms in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The ICCPR Article 23 and UNUDHR Article 16 assert that the family is the natural and fundamental group unit of society and is entitled to protection by society and the state. It is essential to have sex education in the process of family formation, purely because sex is the most biologically crucial tool to family development in heterosexual family units. Knowledge on sex in biological and anatomical terms allows individuals to understand fertilization, pregnancy, and pregnancy prevention, that so family can be built on consenting adults' own terms, autonomously choosing to embark in procreation. Having the number of children they desire and in a time frame that works in their lives, the protection invoked by society and the state by the UN for the natural and fundamental group unit of society demands a need for comprehensive education on sex and sexual health for the mother's safety, the child's safety, and the overall well-being of the family in health, economic, and social structures. The ICCESCR Article 13 and UNUDHR Article 26 state that education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. Sex education is fundamental to human development. Sex is a powerful tool. I have found sex to have great power in our world, fundamentally because it is an act that requires consent, which without becomes an act of power and submission, and sex in the form of rape is used as a weapon of degradation and control, violating human rights and inhibiting peaceful relations. I believe sex education is one of the most influential lessons one person can give to another in helping individuals shape their future because it empowers individuals to be autonomous beings. Education on sex and sexual health allow individuals to take control of their sex life and to be proactive about their sexual health. Finally, human sexuality is a large component of human personality, so much so that a person's sexuality can impact a person's day-to-day interactions with others. So naturally, it would have to be considered an element of human development. So where the right to sex education really derives a lot of its legitimacy, I think, is through the Convention of the Rights of the Child, Article 19 and 24. Article 19 states that state parties take all appropriate legislative, administrative, social, and educational measures to protect the child from all forms of physical or mental violence, injury, or abuse, including sexual abuse. Comprehensive sex education has been found to be a key element to protecting children from sexual violence. It has been found that education, particularly for young children about sex and sexual boundaries, gives them the knowledge and skills they need to identify sexual abuse, feel comfortable discussing it with others, and potentially lower their risk of sexual violence. Finally, Article 24 addresses the child's right to health, specifying what is included within that right and clearly identifying the need to develop preventative health care, guidance for parent and family planning, education, and services as an essential health care service that children should have access to. The Committee on the Right to the Child has concluded that the rights to health and information require states to provide children with adequate, appropriate, and timely HIV, AIDS, and sexual health information. Additionally, in consistency with their commitment to ensure the right to life, survival, and development of the child, Article 6, state parties must ensure that children have access to the knowledge and skills they need to protect themselves and others as they begin to express their sexuality. So, in my last final moment, I would just like to thank the Gallatin Global Fellowship for this incredible opportunity. It has been an enriching, challenging, and fulfilling experience and has contributed massively to my growth, personally, intellectually, and academically. So thank you.